In this video, we're going to be talking about Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, but we will not be going into any of the spoilers or leaks that have been going around. We're not going to be talking about the things until after the game comes out this Friday. We're only going to be talking about things that have been officially confirmed and shown off by Nintendo. Thankfully, that's not actually a spoiler. Welcome everyone, this is On His Restart, and today we're going to be talking about Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity and just how excited I am for this game and what's so great about this game from what we know so far. Why am I so into this? Why are a lot of other Zelda fans so into this game? That's what we're going to be talking about today. Now before we jump into things, let me quickly talk about my social media. There's a Twitter page, a Discord community, a Patron page, and a Twitch channel. If you are interested in any of that, check it all out. It's linked in the description below. And of course, if you like what you're seeing here, subscribe. So I'll just say right off the bat, the biggest reason I'm excited for Age of Calamity is for the story elements. There's a lot of really amazing things I think we could see from that story, getting a better understanding of what happened before Breath of the Wild. Perhaps there will be some clues and hints towards Breath of the Wild too. It's going to be really exciting to see. But we're going to be focusing on the story elements of this game a little bit later into this video and why I'm so excited about it, but I want to talk about a few other things first. For example, we're getting to actually see Hyrule before it was destroyed. That's just a really awesome thing. There was so much that was in ruins in Breath of the Wild because it was a post-apocalyptic world. We were getting to see Hyrule before that all happened. In the demo, we got to go through different towns and areas that were entirely in ruins beforehand. Getting to see that, getting to see how massive and filled this world was before is cool. There was a world here that was this massive Hyrule, a more massive, more densely packed Hyrule than we've ever seen in any other Zelda game. And getting a better understanding of that through Age of Calamity is exciting. But it's not just the areas of Hyrule that we're getting a better look at this time around, but also the characters. One example that we got to see during the demo was Impa. You see, in Breath of the Wild, we got to see Impa, sure, but she was just an old lady. In Age of Calamity, we get to see her in her young form, fighting and being a bigger part of the story. And that's amazing. Getting to play as her was really cool, seeing how an epic of a ninja she is, being able to summon frogs and create shadow clones and do all these crazy combos is really exciting. And it's not just Impa that we're going to be able to enjoy as in this game, there's the other characters, for example, the champions. The champions, yes, we got to see them in Breath of the Wild through the flashbacks and such, but there are these really cool characters that we didn't really get to see that much time with. In Age of Calamity, we're actually going to be able to play as these characters. And going beyond the champions, there's other characters as well. One in particular that seems likely to be playable is the King. We're going to be able to play as the King. We got to see him in a few cutscenes in Breath of the Wild, but nothing more. We're going to get far more acquainted with the King in Age of Calamity. And I just want to stress, as excited as I may seem for this game, and I am, I'm not overlooking the fact that this is not a Zelda game. That is clear from when you play the demo. This is not a Zelda game, this is a Warriors game. It's going to be Warrior-style gameplay, it's not Legend of style gameplay. And some people may be thrown off by that because they're seeing all this Zelda stuff, but when they play the game, it's not going to be a Zelda game, it's going to be a Warriors game. But this Warriors game, in my opinion, is better than a lot of other Warriors games. Playing through the demo, I felt like the actual gameplay was a little bit more diverse than the previous Hyrule Warriors game. There just seemed to be more things you could do with the actual attacks and such, there was more variation to it, and that, to me, was very fun. And from what we've seen of some of the trailers, it does look like we're going to be able to do other really cool things as well. For example, we can actually control the actual Divine Beast and wreak havoc in certain levels. That's also something that's going to be really cool to play as. So I'm really excited to play through this Warrior-style game, to get to see all the different characters that we didn't get to play before, and getting to see Hyrule, getting to play in a game that I think will have more variation with the gameplay than the previous Warriors games, and we're going to get to play through an actual war-style game and get to see through the Age of Calamity. But now let's talk about the most exciting part of this game for me personally, and perhaps for a lot of you guys as well. The story elements. As I've already noted beforehand, we're going to get to see Hyrule before it was destroyed. We're going to get more time with these different characters that we didn't get to see fully in Breath of the Wild. And that goes just beyond gameplay. We've already seen some cutscenes from the demo that I think have some serious implications for the story. If you've been paying attention to my channel, I have a little theory that's going on that I think makes a lot of sense, but of course it could be something different. But we do see that mini guardian jumping through time. What does that mean? Does that mean there's going to be a different ending to this game, or does that mean we're going to see more in terms of what actually happened beforehand that could perhaps have some really interesting implications for the future of Breath of the Wild? So for example, maybe this mini guardian goes back in time in an effort to change the future, but it doesn't quite. Or maybe it does, but the future we see in Breath of the Wild is already that changed future, and the future it changes is a far worse future. We actually see a cutscene in the demo that talks about how there are things that we don't know quite about the future than the mini guardian has documented. Maybe there's more there that they've yet to reveal. And then we have this ominous figure that looks to be kind of like an Aghanim, kind of Yuga kind of character that wants to resurrect the Demon King Ganondorf. What if this Age of Calamity war is actually a war to resurrect Ganondorf, and it ultimately fails thanks to the efforts of Link and Zelda and the heroes, and also the mini guardian, and the future we see in Breath of the Wild is actually a better outcome than what could have happened. And perhaps this is a way to tease Breath of the Wild too. That's a possibility, I think. It doesn't necessarily have to be that exactly, but I think you get my point here. There are things we could see in this game, in this story for Age of Calamity. They're going to tell us some very interesting things about the rest of the Breath of the Wild world, and that's very exciting. And even if we don't get any other teases or implications for the future of Breath of the Wild with the sequel, we're still getting to see more details about what happened beforehand. We're getting more time with Zelda and the champions and the other characters surrounding these heroes, and it's going to give us a lot more context in terms of what happened in Breath of the Wild, and I think that's going to make the weight of the story far greater. I think going into Age of Calamity knowing that they ultimately failed the champions is going to be impactful, it's going to be powerful, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that all comes together. It's very interesting, and with this mini guardian and this ominous figure, elements to the story that we did not know about beforehand, I'm very curious how they affect things. That's going to be exciting to see. So basically, there's a whole bunch of potential with the story here, and I don't know exactly what's going to happen, which makes things really exciting. We don't know exactly what's going to happen. Sure, we know that there is ultimately a failing by the champions, but how they will fail and how these other elements will come together, we don't know about, and I'm really curious to see how that all comes together, and I am hopeful that there might be some sort of Breath of the Wild 2 tease, but we shall see. Either way, I'm very excited for this game. It's coming out in less than 2 days from now when this video is actually uploaded. It's gonna be cool. I'm hyped, I'm excited, but how do you guys feel about Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity? Let me know in the comments below. Anyways everyone, this is Honest Restart. Thank you so much for listening and watching, and I'll see you all really soon. Take care. Bye.